You are watching NetSoft IT Academy. 905-812-2923. info@netsoftacademy.com. www.netsoftacademy.com.
So now let's start with lab number 2. In lab number 2, we'll be creating our OUs and objects. So first of all, I'll navigate to my Active Directory users and computers. Now, I will again show you how to navigate to there. From your server manager, you click on Tools and you click on Active Directory users and computers. Now, once you are in your Active Directory users and computers, as you can see, it takes a second for it to load up. So I'll give it that 1 second to load up here. You see, I double click on nita.local. I right click on nita.local and select new organizational unit. I'm going to name this organization unit corporate. Now, while this is happening, let me also do one quick thing so that it is easier on everyone. So let me quickly go to my settings here. Now, this is a good thing even if you want to do it for yourself, so that you won't have any issues with your this thing. Text size. I'm going to increase my text size a little bit so that it is a little bit clearer for everyone. All right. So once we are here, under I right click on corporate again, click on new and create another organization unit called IBM. Now I'm going to do this process a few more times where I'll create new organization units under the organization unit of corporate. For example, Dell. Right click corporate again, new organizational unit. Let's say Toronto. And lastly, one more OU, new organizational unit. Let's say HP. So this is how you create OUs. Now, the next step is to create users in these OUs. So there are two ways of doing this, by the way. You can click on the OU, right click on the OU, click on new, and select user. Now, my first user would be Ryan Reynolds, but let's see if we are in the right OU for a second. So yes, let's create the user first. So the first name, Ryan, last name, Reynolds, user logon name, R Reynolds. As you can see here, R Reynolds. Next, the password will be password 1350. Password 1350. Now, I personally prefer password never expires so that I don't have to worry about changing the password when the user logs in. But it is a good idea in remember this, in production environments, it's an extremely good idea to make sure user changes the password. The admin should never know the user's password. Next, and finish. Now, this was one way of creating the user. This was one way of creating the user. The other way of creating the user is you right click here in the blank space in the OU, you right click in the blank space in the OU, click on new and you can select user. Or at the top here, instead of right clicking and doing everything, there is a button here to create a user in the current container. But for that, you'll have to be inside the OU. Remember that you'll have to be inside the OU to actually be able to create this user. All right, so that is one thing that you need to remember. So we'll be creating similarly users like this. So let me quickly create one more user for your reference again. Now, the next user that we'll be creating would be a name like, okay, so now, just like how I created Ryan Reynolds and the users here, I'll also be creating one more user. I'll show you how to create another user here. Now, the name would be, yes, so like I was saying, there are multiple methods of creating the users, right? So we did this one. But there is a button at the top here where you can create another user. So I created one more user. Now, another user that I can create would be somebody like Angelina, making sure that I get the names right. Jolie, A Jolie at nita.local. Next, same password, password 1350, password 1350. Password never expires. I just prefer password never expires because I don't like changing the passwords, but you can select the first option and still create your users. Now, similarly, I'm going to create a few more users in all of the OUs here. I'm going to quickly create the users and then we'll look at the next steps. So after a little bit of time, I've been able to create all of the users that were required under each OU. So IBM has all of these users. Dell has all of these users. Toronto has all of these users. And HP has all of these users. Now, in my case, the entire thing is a little bit, the order is a little bit skewed, but if I refresh it, you can see that it will all be like this. And yes, this is also the end of the lab. We were creating our user objects here, and we have created multiple user objects for our reference here. So I'll see you in the next lab. Thank you.
Thank you for watching NetSoft IT Academy. 905-812-2923. info@netsoftakademy.com. www.netsoftakademy.com.